because life has hands, okay? But now I'm a little faster, a little smoother, because this past week I was like, okay.
That's right.
Yeah, Come on.
With a pop, brace yourself as I ride on top. Close your eyes as you ride, right out your side. Don't lose his mind as he grind in the tunnel. Wanna give me the cash he made off his life bundle? Nasty girl, won't pass me the world. I push the beat, not the backseat girl. Don't be broke, you see, no, she floats. Murder she wrote and keeps the heat close. Firm, we supposed to be the illest on 3 coasts. Familiar, bigger than egos. Y'all getting the beat those smoke. All I see is the penny ethers, that's all. No shark in this year, raise the figure. 15% make the whole world fitter. And take notice, now I take over. Y'all take over.
Right out the gate, y'all, we drop hits and tell me how nasty can you get? All the way from the hood to your neck of the woods is ripped. One thing for sure. That's right, we drop hits. Tell me how nasty can you get? All the way from the hood to your neck of the woods is ripped. One thing for sure.
I'm too loud, nasty as I wanna be.
You know, shake your set in front of me. Before I take it there and tear your back out.
That shit ain't happens since the map was out. Rolling for Lana, dripped in Gabbana. 90 style, you finest style. Right away from thick, wanna taste this shit? Put me on the basin, throw your face in this. Nah, y'all can't touch her. My sex drive all night like a trucker. Let alone the skills I possess. Y'all won't see by these skills I possess. Never settle for less, I'm in excess.
Strawberries or dingleberries?
BBS to the tilt, that's just the way I'm built. Nasty, world class, still.
I don't know, that's a tough question. I mean, strawberry sounds better. Berries are good, they're alkaline, as long as they're not GMO. Which we got. Roll with the rock.
Apple with the candy apple trap. Tears fall to your ears and bounce stop. Can you throw it like a quarterback third in a last?
Dig me, I get you live like Biggie with herb in the spot. Word midi, the cop with Diddy. I'm the wrong Biggie, banana, sexy brown thing. Banana, y'all, make them turn over the full court pressure, the undress you. All over y'all. I ain't playing, knock it out at the wheel. Out to say, what's the sense of the layer? I'm trying to run G from the P to the A. I saw your little thing, now I'm swaying, okay?
Straight out the gate, y'all, we drop hits and tell me how nasty can you get? All the way from the hood to your neck of the woods is ripped. One thing for sure. That's right, we drop hits. Tell me how nasty can you get? All the way from the hood to your neck of the woods is ripped. One thing for sure.
What's going on with everybody? Happy Thursday. Oh, the Zoom? Yeah, sorry I missed it. I had somebody else invite me to a Zoom too, and they never sent me a link. my type of combo. Yeah, I would have loved to gone in there and talk to y'all again. There's a fire. Hurry up! What do you mean hurry up? What's the monkey? Is this better than a picture? Queenism, battleism. In this jungle, we're all just animals. We're criminals, but we're innocent always. In this jungle, we're all just animals. We're criminals, but we're innocent always. So many miles I've walked, so many rivers I've crossed, so many battles I've lost, make me who I am today. And when tomorrow it comes, this is Stick Figure. It's like a white dude that sings reggae. He actually sings. I'm not racist, but there's not very many white guys that actually sing reggae pretty good. And he actually does a good job. So I like a couple of his songs. What's up? How you doing, man? Nice to talk to you again. Morning, Sunflower. How are you? I usually go live on Fridays, but I'm kind of bored, so I just figured I'd go up on here. Yeah, I don't know who Mike Love is. Oh, it's like a white reggae. I'll check him out. I just wanna take you home. Let's set this party up. You back? You sure is. You is very back. Yeah, I'm gonna check him out. You can check him out and see if I like his some of his music. When I get a chance, I wrote his name down. So, like, if there's a song I really like, I put it on my playlist and then just kind of shuffle it. I'm usually into love songs for some reason. I don't know why. Keep up. How's everybody doing? Thursday. It's Friday Eve. Good morning. Oh, no. This is alkaline, naturally alkaline, not chemically alkaline, naturally alkaline water from natural springs. I have a lot of people thinking I'm like chugging 40s and stuff at work. I have before, but it makes me sleepy. Alcohol makes me sleepy. What's everybody into? Fritz and Sons. What in the world? Hello, Eldo. Hi, Queenie. You. What about you? Talking about me. Cheezy. Can you fight the game? Fight the game? Nobody should have this much fun at work. It's just how it is. It's the rule. That's the rules of the game. Freaking daggone YouTube has upped their ad game insanely. Like, they must be hurting for money, because YouTube, I used to get like 1 or 2 ads every like 4 songs. Now it's almost like every single song has a freaking ad after it. Oh, I've done meditation music. I like meditation music sometimes. Drop some of the random knowledge. You got to tell me what you're interested in. Are you interested in spirit? Are you interested in nature? Are you interested in commerce? So it really depends on like what you want to like pull from the head. Oh, does it? That's crazy. Even the paid subscription gives you ads, and they're always trying to. I did the free trial. It was like free trial, ad free. But what was cool about it is, you could, on your phone, you can change tabs with the paid subscription or the trial, and it would keep playing. So, all right. So beating a ticket. There's so many different ways to beat a ticket. As soon as you get a ticket, you can go immediately to the courthouse and say you want to pay it right now. And they'll say, oh, the cop hasn't put it in yet. And you say, the ticket says on or before this date. I'm paying before, and I have a witness with me. So if you're refusing payment, according to international commercial law, the debt doesn't exist, and I'll have him verify it. So you can beat a ticket that way. You can set it off by having the treasury or the CFO, who's the clerk of court, set as the trustee, or you can pay with a money order. And you can pay too much. So like, say your ticket was $50. You can send them a money order for $60, and when they send you money back, never cash that check. And the account will never close. It has to stay open, so it'll never be a completed cycle. And that just screws all their books up and stuff like that. Being creditor in court's real easy. You just have to be know how the game works, actually. So I guess it's not easy because none of us were taught any of that stuff. The CFO part, the clerk. So what I'm saying when I say the CFO of the court is there's only 4 different officers that can bind a company into contractual obligations. There's the CEO, the CFO, the COO, and the president. Those are the only ones, unless they have delegated special powers or attorney powers to somebody else, that can bind a corporation into contractual obligations. The CFO of the court is the clerk of the court. She is the CFO. And you can appoint her as a trustee to set off the ticket if you do a grantee acceptance on it. But you have to understand what you're doing, because a grantee acceptance collapses the public trust, and you hold true title on it once you do a grantee acceptance on it. Hope that helps. Sorry if I splurble too much. Sovereign in court. That's there's so many things you can do to be sovereign in court. Going off of what I just said, you could go in there and say, prove to me that the defendant has the authority to bind Virginia or bind Utah or bind whatever state you are into $2 million in contractual obligations, because that's what this is going to cost y'all if y'all proceed with this, because it's all about money. Or you could say something like, I'm here as the authorized representative to set off, settle, and close the account. Or you can say you want to remain an admiralty. You can, it's just like it's unlimited, but you never want to answer questions. And how they trick you is when they're reading your name, it's written in all capital letters. That's what they have authority over. So when they call your name, they say, "Hey, Johnny," and you're like, "Oh yeah, that's me." They're talking about the U.S. corporation that they have control over. But you could say, that's me. How is that word styled? Is that styled in all uppercase? Is it styled in all lowercase? But the best way to handle things is to never show up by actually knowing what you're doing. Or if you have to show up, you want to say something like, Judge, is it wise to handle private matters in the public like this? Because most of the sheep can't handle this stuff. You don't want to disrupt the systems that are in place, because everybody's asleep. They're all sheep that are asleep, so you don't want to cause too much being towed if I don't want to pay registration tax. So if your car was ever registered to a state, it is controlled by them ever. The only thing that I know of that you can take out of their control is real estate, because they don't have true title over it. They have colorable title. Everything else, everything you register, your strawman corporation, your car, your property and stuff like that, they collateralize against the U.S. debt, so you can never ever get it back, ever. You can try to, but you have legal title. You can get money off of it, but they have the controlling title. That means as the beneficial controlling title, they can compel you to do all kinds of stuff. Making the clerk the trustee. Is that what you said? Yes, you want to make you have to do a grantee acceptance. So start step 1. You have to do a grantee acceptance on the ticket. If you do a grantee acceptance, because it works like this. If what they're trying to get you into, if they don't have the authority or to grant it to you, if the grantee acceptance doesn't work, if they try to say grantee acceptance doesn't work, then that means that they did not have the authority to grant it to you. So if they are granting it to you, then you can do a grantee acceptance on it, and that collapses the public trust, and then you hold true title to the ticket. Now, it is still a debt obligation that needs to be satisfied, but you hold the title to it. Then you can appoint the clerk of courts as a trustee with an indenture on the back that says, I'm the grantor, I'm hereby appointing you the trustee. Let's make Jersey Mama the beneficiary or something crazy. They can make the treasury the secretary or whatever, or the beneficiary, and then you've established a trust. You always want to keep copies of stuff so that, we all wear many, many, many hats. Hold on, let me go down. As the agent to the all caps. Yeah, you can say you're the agent of the all caps name, or you can say that you are the authorized representative. Here to like you are on a bank account. So on the bank account, it's your first name all caps, middle initial, last name all caps. That's a transmitting kind of utility bank that you are the authorized representative on. That's what the fine print says on the check at the very bottom. It says you're the authorized representative. I sign as authorized representative for all kinds of stuff. I actually sign a lot of things in all capital letters because after going full cycle and learning how everything works, I just, I don't want full liability. So if you want full liability on a contract, you want to sign in your private capacity in all lowercase, like not even a capital first letter, all lowercase letters. That is like sovereign, no holds barred, your private capacity if you sign in that manner. But I learned from the IRS a long time ago, you can sign in all capital letters. I had a restrictive certified mail document that requested a specific person to sign for it, and they stamped IRS on it in all capital letters. So I said, all right, that's what I'm going to do from now on. So I'm using the IRS's trick. You can sign everything in all capital letters. You can use your fiction as the buffer, the shield to prevent liability because it's not you. It's just a corporation. All right, let me get back to some. You cannot force. That's right. You cannot. There's the 13th article and amendment says that there is no voluntary servitude. So involuntary servitude. Everything is voluntary. You can appoint the clerk of court as the trustee. They do not have to accept it. But according to trust law, that's why everybody has to learn trust law. A trust cannot fail for a lack of a trustee. The trust still exists, and it is enforceable. And you can do whatever you want as the grantor. So, like I said, you have to know what you're doing. And we're not taught all this stuff. You have to know about trust law. You do not have to force is public trust, and they are a trustee. Like I said, there's no such thing as involuntary servitude. You can't compel someone. You can't force someone. You can't force someone to be your slave. So you just keep that in mind. They don't have to accept that position, but they can refuse it, and then the trust still exists. You just have to find somebody else. I do consultations for people all the time. I talk to them on the phone. You can DM me. I do my best between work and life and stuff to try to talk to people one-on-one as much as I can.
What are you gonna do? I'm gonna shop my thrift books.
Yes, you can DM. Oh, see, like I'm so slow, Veronica. Maybe I need to make you a moderator again. How do I do this? Nope, it didn't work.
It's time for me to get set up for therapy, and I use this room as my office.
Management. Are you're still a moderator? Like I didn't have to. I think.
I have my therapy session, which is virtual, and I find myself.
I'm gonna allow you to mute accounts if there's somebody crazy up here. All right.
I had to switch a few times until I found one that I loved, but now I look forward to it a lot.
Did I miss anything?
So, gonna hop on that and.
I'm moderating already. I guess you have permanent moderator status. Once I do that one time. Cool. Maybe that's what that crazy little symbol means by you. It has like a. Who's crazy? I'm crazy. You're crazy. You have like a weird logo by your name. It says Star 16. So I sent the court an injunction and rescinded my license. Why did you do that? Yeah, I help people. Why did you rescind your license? Do you have the true title to your car? Are you ready to operate as a sovereign? Do you have silver in your pocket? You own true title? You've given notice to all the jurisdictions you're going to be traveling in? You do need one to travel if you do not have the true title to your car. So like I'm saying, if you have, and that's why a lot of these people hurt everybody out there, because I've been studying for 13 years. These people just say, oh yeah, hey, the Supreme Court says you can travel without a license. Okay, great. But guess what? The car belongs to the state. So you better find a different vehicle, one that you control. If not, you're just the owner. So if your car was ever registered, the state owns it. They have beneficial title. They can require you to put tags on it. They can require insurance. They can require. I know all this stuff. I didn't have the last car I got was $35,000. I only had $25,000 in cash. So I ended up borrowing $10,000, and I could have gotten the true title to that car. But I didn't. So now I get a benefit of paying taxes on it. And It's controlled by the state, which kind of sucks, but I need to do a video introducing myself and my experience. Yeah, I guess I could. But, I mean, you know, for real, my videos speak for themselves when you just kind of watch them. I make so many videos, like who's seen my goat video? You know, it's like, it just gets swallowed up unless I pinned it. I guess I could pin an introduction. Let me introduce myself. My name is Hove. H to the Izzo. Yeah, I'm here to help. Anybody needs any help? There's a lot of misinformation out there. Well, I say misinformation. What happens is the elites have peppered a little bit of truth in some of these things, and it ends up sounding so good, but it's not true, and it hurts people, and it keeps people spinning around in circles, chasing their tails forever. As I did it, I was one of them. Yes, you can use bonds for insurance, but you want to be careful because almost everybody I know that has ever done a bond goes to jail. I actually set up a trust. I have insurance for a trust that my car is in. I had started the process to get to travel without a license. I made custom plates that looked really close to the state plates that are around me because you don't want to stick out like a red flag. And then I found out about the title thing. It's like I'm operating someone else's property. The car belongs to the state. I can decommission it, but it's still their property. You know, it's like, it sucks. Bill of exchange. So same thing, bills of exchange. I've known people that go to jail for that. You got to be careful. You can they can't specify what form of money that they have to receive on anything. There's been somebody, they went to court and they say, how can I pay? And they say any negotiable instrument. You can pay with any negotiable instrument. So how does one get away with expired plates for multiple years? Asking for a friend. So I've had friends that get away with expired plates and no inspections on their car for many years. And without insurance. You can do all those things. The beneficiary requires them, and the beneficiary might not catch you, you know, but that's just something that the beneficiary requires. I knew my first wife drove around without a license for like 2 years. And I used to get caught all the time. But I found out if you try to respect the rules in place, like try to obey the speed limit and use your seatbelt if you want, then you don't really get pulled over, you know, unless there's a cop behind you, you know, I don't know. But she just went to and from work. So it's so crazy how they get us. Yeah, I know. It's they get you from the jump. The same thing with court cases, like from the very, very start, the ledgering of the account. Hi, Victoria. Nice to see you. It was a pleasure talking with you, by the way, yesterday. I didn't know if you had any other questions or anything, so I'm here to help. Because it's a lot of information that to try to soak all in. Like it's overwhelming, definitely. Can you leave the country without a passport? You can. Say hello to all the illegals that come in to our country. It's not easy, and that's why as a national you can hold a passport, but a national is just a corporation. Back office banking. So yeah, if you look up the definition of a closed account in a bank, it is never ever closed. So whenever you think you close, sorry I said the legals, it's probably not a proper term. So a bank account is never ever closed. If you look it up, it says it's still good for set-off settlements and certain other things. So the banking cartel continues to use all of our accounts for the FICA insurance and for setting off and settling stuff because there's double entry bookkeeping. So if you ever know about accounting, we have the public debt side of the T-chart, and they have the private asset side that they fractionalize, and they can do all this other stuff, but it's not truly zeroed out for us because there's like a double T-chart in the public, and then the private one has their own that they balance out because there's not as much debt public debt in the public as there are because they're fractionalizing. They can create unlimited funds. 1099A is for acquiring property or claiming it is abandoned. And a 1099A works beautiful if there is a contract between the two parties, an agreement. So what I'm saying is basically, do not do a 1099A on some random account or property that you do not have an agreed upon contract between the parties, or you are going to get in trouble. Do you have a book or recommendation that goes in depth on it? I don't know what it is. Does what cost money? So I recommend Weiss's Concise Trusty Handbook, As a Man Thinketh, and for commerce, it's unlimited because there's billions and millions of codes, laws, statutes, and stuff that they. On back office banking. So all I can tell you is if you want to look up Banker's Handbook manuals and stuff like that, you can learn and research and just start doing research. All the information is out there. We're all mad because we weren't taught this stuff, but the information is there. You just have to do digging. We were taught by the Rockefeller-funded indoctrination camps to learn this way because we relied on the government. So when you're calling the government your daddy, they're going to teach you how you want to teach you. So really, it was up to our parents to take the time, effort, and knowledge to try to learn all this stuff to bestow upon us. I've done it, so I get to teach my kids, and y'all are kind of my kids. I get to teach y'all. But I did the work. I have not received a Lodial title because I'm going to start learning about the property stuff on my house. Is in a weird LLC that I have to offer it up to 12 different people if I want to take it out of the jurisdiction to buy it, and so I can't do it on my property. That kind of sucks, but I want to find property that I can do land patent on somewhere. Does what cost money, buddy? Pete Holden. Oh, SDN, that's a good one. Jay Roberts. SED. I think it's a freedom thing. They have a lot of info on it. Thanks, Veronica. Yeah, sedm.org. I think they have a ton of info. If that's the site I'm thinking about, I'm about to check it out right now. sedm.org. I think it's like a freedom thing. It's a freedom thing. No, that's not the one I was thinking of. There's a freedom. I have been on the site before, but there is a freedom site that has like a lot of stuff. If you start searching up keywords, like their site will start popping up. I'm glad. It's funny. The first greenhouse video, I told myself to say that I was going to talk dirty to the plants. I was like, and I tried to remind myself, but then I forgot because I did it in one take. I do everything in one take. I'd be busy, and then somebody said positive vibes on it, and I was like, I got you. So then I used that as an opportunity to do the talking dirty to the plants thing. You don't get a job with a license in SSN. Your straw man gets a job with the SSN, the U.S. citizen. It's not you. And what I don't know if teach is the right word, but what I suggest is if your straw man is going to be engaged in commerce for profit in the public, it 99.9% of the time has a tax liability that it has to pay. Do not try to engage your straw man in public commerce for profit and not pay the people that control the funds that you are messing with, and not try to pay the monopoly money due for that interaction. And then you say, yeah, I kind of look at people as kids. I was looking like when at my last job, I was looking around. I'm like I feel like I'm in a daycare, like a day camp. Like I know there's like fire and stuff blowing, like construction going on and stuff. But I'm like, you know, like we're all kids, so we're all just children. You know, you got to be humble. But it's so funny when you look at people like kids, and they're just like, they're just big kids. We're all just big kids. Later, man. See you. Yo, my kids, I got a lot of mouths to feed. I'm gonna have to start working overtime. I need advice, please. I have court on Monday via Zoom for a misdemeanor assault. What statements do? I've never heard of a Zoom call for a misdemeanor assault. So what happens when you get ledgered once the ticket or the charge has been made is an account has been established that needs to be satisfied somehow. Now you can say you're the authorized representative to set off, settle, and close the account, and you want to effect payment immediately. But I don't know if you're doing a Zoom call. The only time I've ever seen like a Zoom call is when you're in jail. Like I've been in there and I've seen people meet the judge through the teleprompter. And the judge that I saw, his face was all blurred out, so I called him Judge Smudge. I was laughing. I was weak. But that's what drugs do. Drugs are bad. 435 329. Oh, everything's on Zoom? Yeah. I believe it. How you doing? Nice to see you on here. Watermelon sugar. 9th District. Okay. I mean, I was surprised when I went to DMV. There's nobody there anymore. Everything's done online now. Like COVID has shut down everything. It was a Zoom adoption. Yeah, I think COVID stuff. She brought up a great point. K-Sweetness. When my in-laws adopted my nephew, it was a Zoom adoption. Yeah. I mean, maybe everything's just Zoom now. Okay. Glad to know. Glad you're doing good. Because stuff is wild out there. Keeping up with them pups. I know it's a non-stop job. Favorite gurus I've learned from. Oh my gosh. I got a nice list of them, you know. Alright, class. So let's see here. Alright. We got Brandon Adams. We have David Strait. We have Jack Smith. We have Neo. We have Rourke. We have Tim Danron. We have Tim Turner and Winston Shrout. There's some of the main ones. Dr. Schroeder. I have a lot of. I see work is going good and easy. Work is so easy. I get paid too much to do what I'm doing. For real though. Sorry, my straw man gets paid too much. And then that health insurance lien comes out and it's like, I thought I had some money until my benefits came out. Shh. Why are you shushing me? Jordan Maxwell. Yep, Jordan Maxwell's a good one. Yep, absolutely. He's really good. I like Jordan. David Icke, he's got some good stuff. He really does. Believe it or not. I believe in spirits and demons and stuff. I don't know so much about the reptiles. I'm so on the fence about reptiles. Because the spiritual thing is, it can manifest in the flesh, but I just don't know about reptiles, Oh, don't say that I make too much. I got you. I mean, it's not insane amounts of money, but it's I just get paid a little more to manage properties than a normal property manager would. I believe a demon is coming. Yeah, absolutely. There's spirits all in us. That's what all of the anagrams or analogies are about all the temples. All the temples and the servants within them are a mimic of our bodies. You can look at even back to Egypt. They mimicked the body. The temples mimicked our temples, and the servants and the peoples were the spirits that are mentoring the temple. LOL. Benefits cost so much. Yes, they do. The reptiles are real. I mean, I'm not, I don't know. What's coming next? Are you going to have a website, seminars, making this into a biz? So I'm not for profit. I could charge a lot of money for the knowledge I have. I've paid and learned. I paid one of those status correction courses, which, took me a year of learning absolute garbage. But I learned that to help prevent y'all from taking the wrong steps. So ideally, I would love to find masters of nature, spirit, and commerce that can help me teach people of what my foundations are, because it's hard to reach more people by myself. I need others' help. But that's what my plans are. I have a website, but it is I haven't worked on it since way before COVID, and I can't log in because I don't know what email I used, and I'm trying to talk to the place to try to get me back in. And if I can't get logged in, I'm gonna have to start a whole new website. But I have terabytes of data that I'm going to plug in for nature, spirit, and commerce, so that you can, whatever path that you want to choose or learn about, you can go there and learn about that subject that makes your fancy or whatever. That's what I want. I want to bestow good, helpful knowledge to everybody. How bees can bring down post-traumatic stress syndrome with the harmony frequency that they have, and stuff about spirit and commerce. But that's what I've been planning on for a long time. Just kind of stopped a little bit during COVID because I got fired for not getting vaccinated, and then it kind of set me back a little bit, a couple $100,000. But is what it is. It was worth it because I didn't think that it was fair that they did that to people. You see the couple that are using bees to cure Lyme disease. I did not see that couple. No, I did not. Authenticating your birth certificate is good for 3 reasons. One is because you want a really cool document that belongs to somebody else. It's a really cool looking record. The other one is you want to leave the country and set up somewhere like Turkey, France, Japan, Egypt, somewhere like that. You want to transfer your corporation somewhere else. And then the other one is you want to go into the DTC to claim 1/10 of your private estate. If you're not going to do any of those, then I don't know what you're authenticating a birth certificate for. But I'm gonna try. If it's 10,000 hours, so the rest of me. Rather claim ownership. So how the birth certificate works is it's not true title, it's split title. The title is owned by the state. It's controlled by the state as the beneficiary and has the equitable title. We have the legal title, which allows us to do a lot of things. They allow us to get 1/10 of our estate on the private side. They allow us to use that entity in commerce. And it's a shield. It's a protected shield, a buffer between. It's a liability shield. You can create your own entity if you want. They tax you a little more depending on if you do it right. But you have to have a dead entity to interface with the public, because the public is bankrupt. They're crazy and they are dead. And you have to have a like entity to interface or interact with them with. There's no like avoiding that. And the only way to avoid it is to use an agent. You can use an agent to do all those things, and then you can stay private. And that's what the elites do, is they use agents in the public to deal with all of their doings, but they stay private. Can you sue now for that? I heard people did because they got fired. Oh, I can sue the company that fired me, but it's very complicated because I'm part owner of it. It'd blow your mind if you knew everything. We will be able to see this on. I don't know. Like I said, just if you need anything, please just reach out to me. I will help you anytime. I have a lot of free time. Certain days I'm busy. Certain days I'm not so busy. I don't know what your woe really in. Can you pay your bills with a 1040? So I don't know if you're talking about the 1040V or the 1040 tax return. You're welcome. I need to check out some of your videos. I don't know if you've done any more. I think I've checked them all out. Yeah, I own part of the company that fired me. Yeah. So and I thought about suing myself and cashing out, but I don't. It's a long story. But I want the company to do well, and it was just a business decision. Because they do a lot of government contracts, so to them, they thought that if they didn't enforce the mandate, they would lose all their government contracts, which would cost a lot of money. You want to be sovereign, does previously accused, can you? So, you're already sovereign. So I don't know what you mean previously accused. Can you help? We're all sovereign. What do I recommend to access a trust? You can do it on the public side or the private side. If you watch my video on GGT, that will help. So I suggest it's Jazz Love. Check out my GGT video on my profile. You're all welcome. I'm just a servant, you know. I'm just trying to help y'all out. Joe's Custom Masonry. Actually, I need to call that guy. 757. I was told that you can have your bank wire the electric statement to your Treasury Direct account for payments. Treasury Direct account is involved in claiming when you claim your minor estate security. So we're all classified as minors in their code until we claim our minor estate, even no matter how old you are. So stuff I've done, I've helped somebody get out of a large amount of debt. I have copywritten my name and done UCCs. I've learned about doing bonds. I've learned about doing bills of exchange, setting up a lot of trusts, helping people so that they don't have to register their kids to the state until they want to. Stuff like that. I mean, it's a lot. But most importantly is I've learned that I was always free and sovereign. Power of attorney and instructing the CFO. comes to bills, you can appoint a CFO, give them a power of attorney to do stuff if you want. It's I don't know if that's the recommended way to do it, but you can give we give powers of attorney to banks like all the time when we sign applications. We give them power. Sometimes it's unlimited powers of attorney, which is not good, but you want kind of limited power of attorney when they're signing stuff. The rim stay clean wherever I go. Oh, that's funny. That's an SS4. No, hold on. No, not SS4. It's so funny. It's one number away from applying for an EIN. Security. Yeah, it's an SS5, and I think it's an SS4 to get an EIN. It's so funny. It's like it's right in front of us that we're running a corporation the whole time, but we never know. We get a tax identification number for our corporation. We're taught how English is spelled with uppercase and lowercase, but all of our stuff has capital letters on it. Application for a social is SS4. An application for it's SS5. Application for EIN is SS4. A trust files a 1041. We file a 1040. It's right in front of our face, but we're just not taught business. The banks and CFOs are fiduciaries. You can make them fiduciaries. To not be a minor anymore, you have to claim 1/10 of your estate and watch my video on discharging debt, and you'll have an idea that it's not as easy as you think. And anybody that does go through it has to sign a non-disclosure. Hi, how you doing? Burn grill. I'm working on a website, but right now I don't have access. I'm trying to prove my identity because I own the email that is mentioned in it, but I can't figure out what email I used to create the account because I haven't messed with it in 3.5 years. But in those 3.5 years, I have collected terabytes of data that I'm going to categorize into nature, spirit, and commerce to put on the website. But if I can't get the website access back, I've got to create a new one, which sucks, and then I will then be able to upload and start categorizing all this stuff. It's a lot. It's a lot. Like everything you can think of, everything from nature to spirit and commerce. Like. Pope Pastor. There, 3 years on nature and spirit, and then 10 years in commerce, which is funny. A lot of the gurus that I've, I guess I've been learning nature my whole life, so I'd say 40 years on nature, 3 years on, 7 years on spirit, and like 10 on commerce. maybe longer than 7 years on Spirit. Well, really learning for about 7 years. Yeah, so it's been a little while. But I mean, we're all in the natural realm, like trying to learn every day about things. But you know, you quickly learn that cuts hurt and fire's hot, but you know, we're not taught stuff like 4 phases of water. We're not taught about cellular regeneration. We're not taught about how our thoughts can affect our reality through meditation and vibes and zoning, and how frequencies can heal and stuff like that. Your rights, what do you know? So you don't have rights unless you claim them. First of all, that's a Maximin law. Destined Society on this platform. What you doing, girl? Anything about? Yes, I can send you a link about. It's called Bonds for the Wind. Bonds for the Wind. They set this up during COVID, and if you basically go to the site, it'll walk you through how to basically go after the bonds if you've been harmed physically, because in common law there cannot be an injured party. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's everybody's walk is different, and that's everybody says pay here. Here's a cookie cutter application for everybody, and you know, everybody pays $1,000 to go through some course, and at the end of it you spend 1.5 years doing nothing. So there's no specific all right, I see what you're doing. There's no specific path, because your path, you are the author of your path and destiny. It's up to you. It's what you want. Now, I don't mind guiding and helping and teaching for any of the paths that you want. I suggest learning about nature, spirit, and commerce. Spirit is the most important, but is the least understood and the least sought after. Everybody goes towards commerce. So it's funny, when I was learning from all these gurus growing up, they were like, all of this stuff's tied together. It's spiritual realm, the Bible, and commerce, but nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody cares about it. But until you start talking about that money, that's everybody's master. So that's why everybody jumps on this commerce game to try to learn it and stuff, instead of learning what the truth is, which is spirit. So I have some foundation videos. I have some goofy videos, and I have some playlists on my profile. I suggest starting with foundation, and then you can go to nature, and then spirit, and then commerce. I don't know who you're trying to ask, sweetheart. I was responding to Miss Major Life. All right, let's see. We're going through Miss Major Life. Did I miss her comment? Miss Major Life. Well, the banks and CFOs fiduciary, right? Destined Society on this platform. I don't get how. I'm confused. I'm gonna stay out y'all's conversation because Spirit is not lost by lack of example. Every time you go to bed and you're dreaming, you're in the spiritual realm. There's 3 different heavens. You got subconscious, conscious, and unconscious. Now, when we're unconscious, we are more, our spiritual body is more alive because we don't know how to operate while we're conscious. But in your dreams, when you see your hands and feet, that's your spiritual body. Your spiritual body exists, and you can create a expressed contract with your creator, which will make that spirit whole. But until you make the spirit whole, it is still somewhat lacking. But trust me, there is no shortage of examples of spirit. Every time someone dies, that spark that leaves that body, that is the spirit that animates this flesh frame. Like this flesh body is just temporary. There is no shortage of spiritual examples. Chris Hauser program involves I don't know what Chris Hauser is. Look what you got. Oh, crap. Okay, so I need to. Okay, so here. It keeps asking me to invite you to a live, Queenie. He's great. Flesh frame. Yeah, if you see your hands in the spiritual, or when you're dreaming, that's your spiritual body. That's your spiritual body. It's more active when we're unconscious in a sleep state, which is so funny because in the scriptures it talks all about being sleep and waking up all through it. You know, it's well. I wrote down the name Our Lady Liberty. If you're talking about Chris Hoosier, because I haven't heard. One book to learn about our rights. What would it be? The Constitution is good, but we're not a party to the contract. It's great. All the public laws, codes, and statutes are great to know because it is what the public servants are bound by. We're not bound by it. One book for our rights. I would try to find a book on sovereignty. Reading kind of makes me sleepy, so I do in little. If I'm like dedicated, I love commerce. Like I go in on it, but too much reading, just like I'm ready to take a nap. Especially if I've had like a slizzer with some alcohol. Like I'm done. Like that's lights out. So I'm visual. I like watching YouTubes, looking up little video clips, or it really depends on what you're trying to learn. But sovereignty, nobody ever teaches us that we're the true sovereign. So Chris Hauser program. So that stuff works. That stuff works. I know it works. The 1099A. I know it works, but I don't do exactly that. It's close. But you have to have an agreed upon contract between the parties before you start any of that, or you're going to get in trouble. Grantee acceptance is like the accepted for value process. However, what you're doing with the accepted for value process is you're saying, I accept what you're giving me. I'm being an honor because I accept. I'm not rebutting. I'm not refuting. I'm not negating that you are giving me this offer. I accept it, and I accept that there's value to it because debt is money. And then you return it and say, basically, I'm the ultimate source creditor of all. Discharge it. Now it's all about establishing contracts and records and evidence. So when you do that, you're proving, you're creating a record, and they can't refute it because everything's fictional in the public. A grantee acceptance is different because everything out there is in trust. When you're dealing with split titles, like on our car is a certificate of title. It's not true title. The state has the true title. When you're dealing with split titles, in trust. When you buy a house, it's in trust. Everything's in trust, and then they try to trick you into thinking everything's slave, master, creditor, debtor type of banking terminology, but everything is in trust. So you want to learn trust law. Weiss's Concise Trustee Handbook is a good example. When it comes to a grantee acceptance, when you do a grantee acceptance, someone grants you something, you sign as the grantee. That extinguishes the public trust, but you still have the property, and the debt is the property. And then you can turn around as the grantor. Once you have the grant, if you do a grantee acceptance on it, you are the true holder of that title. You hold true title to it. You cannot do a grantee acceptance on a birth certificate because that's not true title. They're not granting true title. They can only grant what authority they have, and they don't ever grant true title to the U.S. citizen. When you do a grantee acceptance on a debt obligation, you are the true title holder of that debt. Then you can turn around as the grantee and make a trust, express trust. You want to express it, not have an implied trust. You want to express it. You can send it to somebody, and trusts are way more powerful than accepted for value. So just so you know. Yeah, so a grantor, it's very simple to have an express trust. You just have to have property, you have to have a purpose, and then you have to express the three parties, which are the grantor, the grantee, and the beneficiary. When it comes to trust law, you can be all three parties and one of the beneficiaries. There has to be more than one beneficiary. If you're all three parties, it's not a trust. There has to be two parties playing different roles. But you can be all three parties and one of the beneficiaries. There has to be another beneficiary. You can be the grantor, the trustee, and one of the beneficiaries. Beneficiaries don't have to be told that a trust exists, especially if they're enjoying the benefits of something. It is implied that they know it exists. But a grantor trust is, you can look it up. It's real easy. As the grantor, you're putting property into a trust for somebody to do something with. But yeah, it's pretty much the same. Oh wow, I got 30 messages. I'm sorry, y'all. It said 3. Catchphrase for each of the phases? I don't know what you mean. You talking about nature, spirit, and commerce? What are you talking about? I don't know what did you study on? I studied on a lot of stuff, like a lot. Alright, I just skipped down. I don't know if I missed a bunch of people. I got some Veronica likes. Give me them Veronica likes. Veronica, you probably gave me 7,000 out of my 8,000 likes. I know your little finger's probably tired. See you later, which apothecary shop? Or is it which apothecary shop? Apothecary? Apothecate means to like put off somebody else. That's how you do. Well, I appreciate it. I do truly. It's grateful. Appreciate the likes. I remember when I first started doing lives, when I got 1,000 people, I was like, I got 300 likes. I was like, this is awesome. I thought it was cool. Lewis McKee. You can check out. Yeah, it's hard to get out of a death grip, so I'm gonna try to start this in order. You can very easily establish a contract to get out of a mortgage. It's not super hard. It's everything really starts at the beginning. In the beginning, they monetize your signature on a promissory note, and then the CFO actually signs the back on the private side. So he's actually the one that's responsible for the debt. Because whenever you cash a check, you have to sign the back, and whoever signs the back on the check is the one responsible for it. You can't deposit a check without signing the back. So a CFO signs the back of the promissory note, but they've been authorized by Congress to monetize your signature, so you can get them a new contract saying, hey, I just found out that y'all monetized my signature and paid for the house and paid off the last party, and then got me into a contract that kind of tricked me into thinking I was a debtor. Sorry, here's the new terms, and you can start a new contract with them. A good starting point for someone just getting to know all of this is if you go on my profile, I have playlists that can help out a lot with foundation, nature, spirit, and commerce. Commerce is starting to get a little convoluted, and I need to go back and reorganize all of them, because when you do a playlist, they don't let you the last one, the next video you make becomes the first one every time. So every time I make a video, it becomes the first video, and I don't want it to be the first video. I want it to be the last, but they don't let you drag it down. So if you watch all my foundation videos, nature, spirit, and commerce, you'll have a good understanding, and then I can help guide you if you want anything. Knowledge is very good. I wish we're taught all of this. I know it's kind of on our parents' fault, but then it was on their parents' fault, and then it was on their parent. So we're not taught this stuff for a reason. They want us to be just smart enough to pull the levers and push the buttons, but not smart enough to know how far we're getting bent over and reamed out by a system that actually we authored, we control, we started all this. People are the ones doing it, so we got to blame ourselves. If we were all responsible, I've created contracts, I've created trusts and stuff like that. It's all about being responsible for yourself, depending on how responsible you want to be. I do one-on-one. Just all you gotta do is DM me. Start a new contract. Yeah, you can start a new contract, but the old one still exists. If you're talking about mortgage. Yeah, I've actually had an issue where I got misinformation flagged on one of these videos, but since I've had a moderator, it hasn't happened. But I don't know if that's gonna happen. It's just because it's we're not taught. But should I complete a UCC1? So UCC1 is very powerful. Banks and financial institutions use them all the time to make a security statement about an agreement on property. It's so powerful that even the United States president, well, I wouldn't call Joe Biden the president, because it really seems like Trump is still the president, because I don't think Biden was sworn in as commander-in-chief. I think Trump is still the commander-in-chief. But whatever the president is, he can't even undo a UCC1. But there has to be an agreement between the parties, or you're going to international jail. You've committed commercial fraud. Now, UCC1, most of these status correction courses try to teach you to put a lien on the straw man. First of all, that's not your property. Second of all, it's first in line, first in time when it comes to lien. And if you get a birth certificate, it'll have an issuance number on it. You'll see how many times that your birth certificate has been issued out and monetized and bonded out on the world stage, and it has liens against it already. So you're probably the 6,000th person trying to put a lien on that. And any judge that allows you to get a remedy by doing UCC1 in court just feels sorry for you, because at least you're trying, you're attempting to. You're not fully asleep, but you've just been led astray. So they do give people kind of props for that. So yeah, they always sell the mortgage. Is there a way to get out of it? So they always, like I said, the wet ink signature contract, the CFO signs the back, they bundle it with a bunch of other ones and sell it. They can never reproduce the wet ink contract. And you can call them out on that. You can say, if you cannot produce the original true wet ink contract, I'm going to assume that it does not exist anymore. I heard that the CFO signed the back of it, so he's the true obligated party responsible for the debt. And I found out that you monetized my signature on a promissory note, so it's already been paid for. So here's the new terms, and you can start a new contract with them. The loophole. I don't know what you mean by the loophole. You don't want to write off a mortgage. You can discharge it or start. You want to find a way to pay, but they can't specify what the way to pay is. You can send them $21 in silver coin pre-1933 and say, here's money of substance lawful. This will discharge the debt. And if they keep it, the debt is discharged. If they return it, according to international commercial law, the debt doesn't exist. So you get them either way. Is there an effective procedure to reverse denial of disability? So it sounds like you're trying to mess with public benefits. But yeah, there's a way to. It depends on who has jurisdiction over what kind of benefit you're trying to reverse and who had the authority on it. But yeah, I'm sure there's a way. You can, yeah, absolutely, you can. Yes, ma'am. And they cannot refuse. Well, they can refuse it. But like I said, if you send them payment and you have to find the code, and I have it somewhere, I'd have to dig it up. If you send them a payment, they cannot specify what form of payment that they have to receive, because they took away all lawful money, and now we have monopoly money. We have freaking funny money. So they can't specify, and they have to offer a remedy. So you can call the government out on it, But most likely, like any company you send a negotiable instrument, it's not going to accept it because they're like, I want Federal Reserve notes. And then you can bring in a new contract that says, well, according to international law, if you keep the payment, the debt is discharged. Or if you return, and that's a code. And there's another one that says, and if you return it, that means that there is no debt. So you can get them. Yeah, you can do all this stuff, but be prepared to battle because they want their Federal Reserve notes, and they could take you to court. But you can stand on the facts. That's why you can create your own law, and that's what happens with a court and a judge. A judge is only there to weigh the two parties' claims, and 99% of the time, the plaintiff, the claimant, is bringing in public codes, laws, and statutes, and that's all the judge looks at. What law did you bring in? Did you bring in your private administrative procedure? Did you bring in your contracts? Did you bring anything to the court other than I want to set it off, I want to discharge? The judge will look at the paper, he weighs it, and most of the time the plaintiff and claimant has the say so because they're bringing in all this law. But you can bring in your own law, and our law trumps their garbage codes, laws, and statutes because we are the ultimate authority on this earth. So, I think it's Supreme Court law that says we are the sovereigns, the humans in America. I get a little worked up sometimes. There's a lot of ways to discharge it. I spoke about it earlier. You can appoint the clerk of court to discharge it as a CFO. If you do a grantee acceptance on it, you can pay more than the traffic ticket is with a money order. So if your traffic ticket is like $60, you can give them $70 in a money order. And when they send you the check back, never cash it, so the account can never ever be closed. Or you can set it off, or you can try to pay it as soon as you get a ticket. Go immediately to the courthouse. As soon as you get that ticket, and go there, and it says pay on or before that date. If you go there and say I'm here to pay before this date, and they don't accept payment because the cop hasn't registered, then according to international commercial law, the debt is discharged because you were there to make payment and they didn't accept it. So. Hey, I gotta go, guys. So it's nice chatting.
So if you're interested in trying out Grammarly for yourself, just go to Grammarly.com